This video is about gaining perspective. So we all feel a little bit better when those important parts of our lives are nice and balanced, and we kind of feel a little bit more in control of things. Feeling out of control is one of the worst feelings in the world. We're not very good at dealing with that generally. So what we need to do is gain some perspective and shift our mindset to one of balance and understanding about what actually is. The reality of the situation. When something happens to us that we're not expecting, or is a little bit adverse, or we don't really want it to be there, then we often spiral into a difficult emotional mindset. One of a lack of perspective, perhaps, and a lack of control. There are a couple of ways to gain a better perspective about any situation. One is to think about the permanence of it. In other words, how long is it going to last, really? Most problems are relatively temporary, and I get that some of them aren't, but generally the problem that we have in our lives today will shift and change at some point, and it won't be such a big problem later in our lives, or if it is, it will at least be different, and we can't always predict how that's going to be. But one of the best things that we can do is just imagine that this problem won't always be there. It will pass in some way, shape or form. The next thing to think about is pervasiveness. And what I mean by that is, how much of your life does it actually impact? Quite often when we're feeling negative when a problem occurs, we think it's going to impact every part of our lives. But actually, if we think about it more logically, it only has an impact on a relatively small part of our lives. And for the rest of it, we can get on with things relatively well and fine. So gain some perspective, gain some balance in how you're thinking about the problems. Think about the permanence and the pervasiveness, and get your balance and perspective in check.